So guys, welcome back to the Python video 2. In today's video, I'm going to start with Python, and if you haven't watched the previous video, then go watch it now because in previous video I told you how you can start writing Python code in your device because you need to install it in a particular manner. You need to install Python in a particular manner from a particular website. Only then you will be able to execute Python codes on your device. So go watch it if you haven't watched it. And in today's video I'm going to tell you about pip, what is pip, idle, and also we'll start with the very basic things of Python. So, first of all, let me tell you what is idle. What is Python idle? So, the Python idle stands for Integrated Development Environment, and it is it is installed along with Python. If you want to install idle, you can install it along with Python. There is an option as shown in the previous video. So in idle, what you can do is write Python code. So you write some Python code in the idle, and it will and you will be able to run it, because it's not that you'll just write any Python code in your browser or somewhere. You need to write it either in Notepad and save it as .py file, or you can write it in idle, or you can write it in command prompt, PowerShell, whatever, or you can also write in uh, different code editors like Visual Studio Code, Sublime Text, Atom, and for Python, particularly for Python, there is a code editor which I think many of you would have heard about, PyCharm of JetBrains. It is a free software. So I'll suggest you to either download PyCharm or download Visual Studio Code. And there's not a there's not a big difference between both of them. You can run Python code with the help of both of them. But downloading Visual Studio Code uh, gives you the access to many languages. In PyCharm, you can only write Python, but in an efficient way. So you can think of it as PyCharm is only built for Python, but is very good at its job. But Visual Studio Code is built for every programming language, uh, even the non-popular ones. Uh, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Java, Rust, Ruby, uh, C++, C hash, Python, any language you can write in the Visual Studio Code editor, which is an editor which is over here on my taskbar. And Visual Studio Code is provided by Microsoft, so it's totally free of virus. So I'll do it in Visual Studio Code in this series. Now it depends on you, whatever you want. I'll just search idle here. So Python idle 3.11. The reason it's showing 3.10 and 3.7 also over here, it's because I already have Python 3.7 and 3.10 installed in my computer. I installed them previously when Python 3.11 was not out. Like When I used to code earlier, I used Python 3.7, which was the latest at that time. Then I used Python 10, which was the latest at that time. Then Python 3.11, latest at this time. So you should use whichever Python version is latest at what time you are coding. If you don't know how to install different versions of Python, it's shown in the previous video. We'll not talk about that. You'll only be able to see Python 3.11 if you followed along with me in the previous video. We'll just open it. So I have opened the idle. It's not open till now. I clicked on it. Until then, I'll tell you about. Okay, it's already open. Let me. So over here, you can see the Python version. I think I opened Python 3.10 idle. I don't want that. I want idle for Python 3.11. So I'll open it. Uh, I by mistakenly opened Python 3.10's idle. It's opening. Until then, I'll tell you about pip. So what pip helps you to do is pip is also something that you can download along with Python. When you are downloading Python, you can also download pip along with it. There's an option. If you don't know how to download pip, go watch my previous video. And so pip is basically something that allows you to install or download or uninstall any package or module for Python. Now, what do I mean through this is with the help of pip, you can write a code in your terminal, whatever terminal you use, uh, command prompt, PowerShell, whatever terminal. So you can write pip install, you can write pip install, and what then whatever module name, whatever the name of module is, or pip uninstall whatever the name of module is. So for example, if you want to install the Wikipedia module, so you'll write pip install Wikipedia and press enter, and it will download, it will start downloading the Wikipedia module. So what are modules? Modules are some things that are inbuilt codes in Python. So they are kind of packages. They are inbuilt codes, but they are not installed in your computer. You need to install them with the help of pip. So uh, modules, for example, Wikipedia, like I just said, the Wikipedia module helps you to extract any information from any Wikipedia page Python to your Python code, not to your code, but to your Python program. Uh, Another example of module is PyTTS63. So this module helps you to change your written text in the code into an audible format. So if you download this with the help of this module, you can basically something like text to speech, something like that. Okay, so that was it for pip, but the idle is not open, has not been opened. I'll just try to open it once again. I don't know why it's not opening. The idle is not opening. Okay, let it be. We'll just for this video we'll just try to do with the 3.10 idle. So here we have the Python idle. Now, one thing that you may have noticed if you have seen my previous video is that this thing over here, this is the Python version, then there's type, help, copyright, whatever. I think you may find it a bit, a bit, what you say, you may find it a bit that you have already seen it, because in the previous video when we were using command prompt, and Python in it, if I start Python in it, and for those who don't know, we can also write Python code in command prompt. Once you have installed Python, just type Python in it and see Python 3.10 tax v 3.10 whatever is written there is also written here, because it's the starting for Python. It tells you that Python is already started. So now if I just just the just the most basic code, print. If you want to print something, if you want something should be printed on your output, you write print. And so first of all, what you need to understand is, wait a minute, what you need to understand is there are three types. There are, like, there is a string, there is a number, there is a variable, there is null. These are four main types. So if you have, what string is a phrase or a clause, anything, any letter, if any letter, A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, any letter is considered as string, any word is considered as string, any sentence is considered as string, any paragraph is considered as string. I think you got my point. Now, number. You all know what number is: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, from minus infinity to positive infinity, any number is considered as number, is considered in the numbers category. Variable. Now, variables are something interesting. I'll talk about it in deep in a further video, but just for the basics, a variable is like a container. You can store some data, a value. You can store a value in it. So, for example, your variable is 1. So, variable is 1. Now it is stored forever. Now, if you want to print 1, you can print it in two ways. You can either type print 1, or you can either type print variable, because variable is also 1. Now null is 0, just 0. These are the types. So I told you about all these because when you're writing Python and you want to print something, you type print, you open a bracket, then this is important. Wait a minute. Uh, Let me just zoom it, I guess. How do I zoom it in idle? I don't even know. Well, let it be. We'll write it in the command prompt for Python. Python also gives a command prompt from itself. So here it is. Yes. Oh no. Okay. CMD. So here, if I type Python, now I have access to the Python thing. So I type print here. I open a bracket. Now you can either do double quote or single quote, double quote or single quote, both will work. Uh, if you want to write a string, if you want to print a string, make sure that you use a quote, like either double or single. Make sure you use it, otherwise it will give you an error. All strings should be written inside a parenthesis, inside a double quote and parenthesis. So hello world, hello world. So this, I'll just close the quote and close the bracket. So this is a string over here. Now if I press enter, it will run. And now this is the output over here. The output is hello world. Yeah, of course, we wanted to print hello world. In output, it printed hello world. Now if you want to print an integer, any rational number, you can print it you have to print it without quotation marks. So I want to print 2, suppose 2. Yeah, that's 2. Now see, what if I don't put a quotation mark and I write a string? So I am a good boy, which I'm not, but let it be. See, it gave you an error. It said it is an invalid syntax because it is. Now, if I do like this, if I do something like that, now see, here it is double quotes, here it is single quotes, but it does not matter because it still runs. Now, print 1, oh, 1. If you want to print any integer in these quotation marks, you can also you can also print it without these quotation marks if you want. But moving on, variable. Now, if variable, I told you about variable. So variable is a container. You also have to give your variable a name. So suppose I have a variable which is I give the name of the variable should be written first. So suppose the name of the variable is QWERTY. The name of the variable is QWERTY. Then space equals space. So what it will do is it will consider QWERTY as a variable, and after that you need to write whatever number should be stored in that container. So what should be the value of QWERTY? So if I want 90 as the value of QWERTY, so I'll just write this, press enter, it has stored it. Now if I if there's another thing, a if there is another variable a b c d e f, so as you can see here, I have considered a b c d e f variable as 20. The value of it is 20. Now if I print 20 plus 90, the answer is 110. if i print if I print QWERTY plus a b c d e f, which is QWERTY QWERTY plus A B C D E F. The answer is not 90, which I don't know why. Wait a minute. A B C D E F plus QWERTY. Wait, print A B C D E F. Okay, A B C D E F is 20. A B C D E F plus this thing over here. There's that thing over there. The answer is still 110. That's about variables. Now, if I type print null, it gives me an error because null is again 0. Oh wait, print 0. So this thing over here is a null. It has a null value. I hope you liked the video. That's it for the video. I'll meet you, I think, tomorrow. Until then.